Well, good morning from the International MicroCar Rally. There we go, very difficult to point at stuff in a mirror image, where Tuk finds herself, she spent the night with a pair of Trabants, a rare P50, the earlier type, and a very early 601, which we might have a nose around later. Though the major exciting news is Tuk has an Invacar friend. This is MHJ22P, belongs to my friend Mark. Also fairly dishevelled in places, but this was the first Invacar that was returned to the road in preservation, so to speak, and it is another Invacar Limited. It also has the handlebars, slightly later stalk. It's got the stalk out of a Metro, or very similar to the Reliant Fox. Handbrake on this side, as are the switches, much more sensible, and an interesting crossed seatbelt arrangement, which looks far more reassuring, but otherwise very similar. Got the later tail lights, and yeah, I like the look of it a great deal. And today there is a road run which is going to take us to I think we're going to Wells Cathedral, that's the place, which was airbrushed out of the film Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz was filmed in Wells, but they didn't want it to feel like a cathedral town, so they airbrushed it out. Very interesting place. We're going to Breen Sands as well, I think, and we'll be convoying with other microcars. So sitting in the middle of what I think will become the display field is this Lloyd Alexander. There was one in last year's video which was also right-hand drive. Very nice Mercedes camper van in the background as well. But these Lloyd Alexanders were actually quite advanced, twin-cylinder engine, I think 4-stroke. I'm trying to remember now. And yeah, very small but very well engineered. Like little baby Borg wards, which is fitting because I had a drive of a Borg ward last night. Very kindly gentleman let me have a go, but I didn't have the video kit, I just had a drive of it. So that was very pleasant. Yeah, lovely little cars. Gorgeous little Fiat 500 Giardiniera. I apologise for my appalling Italian. Very pretty little estate. So the straight twin engine is canted over to lie flat under the floor, so more load space than you might expect for a rear-engined car. Very, very pretty. Over here we've got a very project Bond Minicar there. If you haven't seen my video on driving a Bond Minicar, I recommend you check it out. These are the crazy front wheel drive single wheel cars. This one might be a better one to have a look at, actually. We have a nose underneath. You can see, oh, it's got a Honda engine. Okay, that's going to be exciting. But yeah, it's a chain drive from a single cylinder engine down to the front wheel. This one may be more stock. If you have a crawl underneath, there you go. Chain being on the other side, naturally. There's another BMW Isetta hiding in an awning there. Look at that for a colour. Another Messerschmitt. Lovely. An earlier Bond. They did up to Mark G, so that's an earlier one. I think the A to C were that shape. Just because reasons, there's a very nice mid-70s Range Rover here. It's in lovely condition. It's not overly mint. It's kind of a bit how I remember them. But yeah, that classic shape with those wonderful steel wheels. Yeah, that's iconic, you might say. Honda N600 that has come over from the Netherlands. I've told him about Japan Classic Sunday because I think Ivan and Patrick would like to see that there. Very nice. It has been restored, quite rotten, done about 80,000 kilometres. Had a chat with a chap yesterday. Love how the rear lights are perched on the back here. I love how these little grills kind of hint that it might be rear engine, but no, it's an air-cooled transverse straight twin overhead cam screamer of an engine. Very much motorbike technology in a little car. BMW 700. Possibly the most beautiful car here. But yeah, the microcars are huddling together for warmth in the cold. Oh, he's got the tunes. Oh, the BMWs are racing off into the lead. Oh, it's nice to see the Isettas and Trojans hanging out together. Little doggos going along for the ride. I love this. I feel enormous because all these cars are tiny. So it's a column change, sequential lever on the Bond. You sort of knock it down to go through the gears and then back up to go back through. It works really well actually. I think it's a fine way of changing gear. Fun times. Well, it's a little twin-cylinder convoy. We've got an Autobianchi in front of us, an Invacar behind, and a Fiat 500 behind that. Amusingly, the Invacar was meant to use the Fiat twin-cylinder engine, but ended up using the far better Steyr-Puch unit. So here we are in Glastonbury. Some of the microcars have managed to park quite nicely. So we've got a little selection of Trojans there, Berkeley's behind, and a solitary Bond in the distance, wondering where all these Bond friends are. But tremendous scenes. Further on, we've got a Bond with an Isetta and another fine gathering up here outside Glastonbury Abbey, the ruins thereof. There's the BMW 700 and a gaggle of Isettas. So I'm pretty sure I've got a photo somewhere of this pair. I may have already mentioned that, but I'll have to see if I can dig it out. I drove that one many years ago. We're just coming up alongside the cathedral now, to our left. Try and find our way in. I can see the microcars already on the green. So here we are at Wells Cathedral, a gathering of tiny little cars. We'll go up. There's Talk, Pride of Place, and yeah, the weather's turned a little grim, but we're having a marvellous time nonetheless. And there's a little NSU Prince sneaking into the lineup. It's a marvellous sight, all the little cars. Ooh, that looks like a Berkeley 95 or 105 Royal Enfield engine. Meant to be a bit of a rocket. Oh yes, now it really is raining. We've been joined by a few more cars. The Autobianchi from a little convoy earlier, the Fiat 500 that was following us, the little Dutch Honda N600. The Bond Minicars have arrived. I see they have given in and attached their roofs because they were going topless earlier. But yeah, a marvellous backdrop here at Wells Cathedral. A very strange cathedral because it looks like it might have had towers, or maybe they just never built them, so it's a bit stumpy really, but an impressive backdrop nonetheless, and completely airbrushed out of the film Hot Fuzz, which was filmed in the town centre, which is just beyond these buildings. Yeah, I do like Hot Fuzz very, very much indeed. See, the Invacars have been joined by a Trabant, looking very, very potent. It's got the wide arches. It looks like it's got an expansion exhaust thing going on for extra power. Lombard Rally, that's mightily impressive. Yeah, see you in a bit. Here we go. Next path is we're off to Wookey Hole. Here we go then. Down Cheddar Gorge, a pair of my Invacars rather. What a spectacular location. Whoa, easy now, Mark. Cheapers, that's a lot of motorbikes. Wow, I've never been to Cheddar Gorge. I think I've been missing out. What a place, it feels almost alpine. We're now dispelling with the route. We're going to drive back to the campsite, but it's been a lovely run out. And we're back. We'll just make the smart car retreat. No problems with two TVs. And the Saturday road run begins. Pair of peels. .50cc. Haynes Motor Museum, here we come. Oh, you're not getting a shift on today, blimey. We started the day following NSUs, but they took the wrong turning out of the campsite. So we lost confidence in them. Now we're making our own way. So we're here at the very impressive Haynes Motor Museum, squeezing the micros in. We've not got very much space, but we have got tiny cars at least. It's just trying to get them all in is the challenge. goes the power plant turning around. But yeah, where are we going to fit all these? It's going to be a challenge. Not all Berkeleys have a reverse gear, so sometimes you have to do it all manually. At least they're light. Healy 100 there. And look at this Healy behind it. I don't know what body that is, but that's astonishing. The Peel P50 has made it. If only we could find somewhere to squeeze it in. Oh, maybe there will do. That is quite an achievement. I don't know where the Peel Trident has gone, but one of them has made it. And we're just rearranging the little Berkeleys. See if we can squeeze a few more of them in. I'm sure we can, they're only little. But yeah, quite the gathering here. So I don't think we've seen this Scootacar before in metallic purple. That looks amazing. The simple controls. And this amazing Isetta pickup. That's, yeah, I'm hoping that's not a seat. Look at that, the stowage rack, steering wheel that comes up with a door. So we've got some different vehicles joining us today, including this amazing Gogglemobile van. Here it's little two-stroke engine purring away. Then we got a lovely Gogglemobile coupe, which has been helped backwards because I think these have, yeah, they got a little pre-select electric gearbox, and they don't always behave, but best rear light detail ever. Gorgeous. I'm going the wrong way around the car park, but we have slightly run out of space here, so there you go. Now that's the turning circle. And that's reverse gear. Yeah, it ended up getting a bit busy. We got a Daihatsu Cuore here, lots of Isettas and Heinkels, and yeah, it's all getting a bit crowded. Maybe they were expecting only 6 microcars, I don't know. But look at BMW Isetta has done the Liège recreation in 2008. The BMW 700 again. And more Isettas, the Goggo Coupe. It's, yeah, I'm not sure how we all get out again, but I'm sure we'll think of something. Yes, because over here. And away we go. We'll see all these little microcars later on. morning. It is Sunday, it is the main show day. Tuk and MHJ are in the lineup of plastic, along with a Frisky, some Peels, and just the other side of the sign, the Scootacar. So we're all getting prepared for the show and shine element of the National MicroCar Rally, so where all the cars line up by make. So there's all the Bonds. Well, for the popular microcars line up by make, the Bonds. We've got a Fiat lineup, the Heinkel Trojans back there, Messerschmitts forming a big line all the way up at the back, and the BMW Isettas. And yeah, others are lined up in plastic here and metal behind. And so we'll go and have a walk around. We've seen some of the cars in the campsite already, but I don't think it hurts to have a look around some more. And this probably isn't a bad place to start. We'll start with Trabants. We've got a Trabi Tramp here, which was the East German equivalent of the Mini Moke. The only Trabant I've driven was a Tramp. I had a very brief spin in one at an event where sadly there wasn't time for video, but it occurs to me I'm not sure where I'd put my camera mount, so maybe I'll try and have a drive of a normal Trabant sometime instead. That's a Berkeley making all the noise. They are tiny little sports cars and very, very noisy, and we'll go and look at those and then we'll return to the miscellaneous lineup. But Berkeley's were designed by Lloyd Bond of Bond Minicar fame. They're front wheel drive, which makes it very easy to switch from a four-wheeler like these to three-wheelers, like this green one with a hardtop here, because the front panels are exactly the same, and they all have motorbike engines of various types. The ones with the square grills use a chunky Royal Enfield engine, I think. Some of them have triples. I think the blue one there has got an Excelsior triple engine. In fact, I think all three of those have. And twin cylinders used on others. There is an award for Shed of the Show this year, and yeah, that could be a contender. It's trying to encourage people to bring their cars no matter what the condition, and I fully applaud that. That's good to see. I've got a lineup of the Bonds, Bond Bugs. Bond Bugs, nothing to do with Bond really. They were made after Reliant purchased Bond, its great rival, designed by Tom Carron at Ogle, and based largely on Regal underpinnings. And yeah, some of them are quite curious in the way they have been modified. This has got aero screens, deflect some of the air away. Yeah, fantastic. Meant to be great handling as well. Unlike the Regal, we've got coil springs, really well located back axle. So that's all the good. We've got the little turret sitting over there. I'm assuming that's going to come and join the lineup at some point. And then we've got the Bond Minicars variously. A very good example here of the earlier style against the later style. You can see how wide they became as they tried to make them more family friendly and tried to compete with the practicality of the Mini. Not to great success, sadly. Sales did rather drop off. So we've got a little 2CV based kit car there, a Lomax, which is another 2CV kit car, but it looks like it's had a BMW conversion. For those cylinder heads are quite large. That must be quite exciting. It is a three-wheeler. We got a Tri-King, which is a replica of the original Morgan three-wheeler. Quite exciting. And this remarkable little thing, as another noisy little Berkeley goes past. This is brand new. It has done 6 miles. It is a little baby kind of MGT type replica, but it uses a little 50cc, I think it is, 6.5 horsepower engine with CVT and a chain drive down to the back axle, which is quite exciting. It's got huge brake discs either side and a grille made of wood. It's just a home-built special called the Maybug. It is quite remarkable and absolutely tiny, and as you can see, fully road legal. It's brilliant. Here comes another Bond Bug. So yeah, Peels, I did quite wrongly refer to this one as being a replica, but no, it is the original. It is the one Jeremy Clarkson used on Top Gear. He drove around BBC TV Centre in that very Peel, and that drove all the way to the Haynes Motor Museum yesterday on the convoy, which is great to see. And Peel also made the little Trident here, which is very, very bubbly indeed. There is some ventilation, but I'd say it was rather limited. These are both 50cc, 30 miles an hour, possibly. So very brave driving those out on the road. Designed on the Isle of Man, and probably more at home there, to be honest. Little Meadows Frisky next to the Invacars. Very pretty Michelotti designed Scootacar, one of which is for sale if you've got £17,500. Tandem seating, so you sit behind each other. Oh, there goes the Tourette, which is a replica. It's built on a Noble chassis, and the body was a mould taken from an original Tourette. There are not many of them about. Lovely noise. Oh, here comes another Trabby to join the Trabby lineup. It's the best time to be at the show when they're all coming in, really. The Fiat lineup, we've got a bit of controversy here because we've got an Autobianchi here, which uses Fiat running gear but isn't a Fiat. The other one is the blue and cream, the turquoise and cream one down there, which we'll go and have a look at in a moment. So which lineup should they be in? Yeah, difficult question. Then we've got the Heinkels test drive video to come on this one. I'm very pleased to report. So that was good fun. Down here we've got a Honda PAIR, a Honda Beat has come to join the N600. Both cars built to the K-car regs, though the N began life as the N360 because the K-car regs were a bit stricter at the time. These are built to 660 regs that came during the 1980s. The Lloyd Alexander, very complex, a gorgeous BMW 700 convertible. Here is the other Autobianchi next to a Necker Weinsberg, which is a very expensive reworking of a 500. You can see the basic body shell is pure 500, but it was built by NSU, and yeah, they didn't sell very many because they were quite expensive. It's a funky little coupe. Looks quite splendid. And there's the rear of the Autobianchi, very pretty. The AC Petite is just running. It didn't want to start earlier, so I'm glad it's happy again. The forerunner of Took, little AC Petite. And yeah, I think you can definitely see the Invacar influence there. Daihatsu Cuore. Although curiously, later ones don't count as microcars because they changed from a 660 turbo to a 1.3 naturally aspirated. Bit of work going on with the NSUs here. NSU found it was preferable to build their own car rather than Fiat's under license. Can see what's going on up the back. Yes, that is a P registered 2CV. Oh, hello, what on earth is that? Another 2CV based kit car. That's quite stylish. I like the mini lights perched on the back. Interesting. Never quite know what you're going to see at these events. I got a little Austin 7, not technically a microcar, but very much friends of the event. And we got a P registered 2CV. I think a friend of mine used to own this one. So yeah, it wasn't registered until 1997 or thereabouts, 1996 maybe, which is why it's on a P plate. Slightly unusual. Pair of Reliants, and then we're into the Messerschmitt lineup. Very, very colourful. In fact, they were the first in. They're the most eager today, the Messerschmitt. But look at this delicious sheddy Isetta, another one going for shed in show. great to see. I hope if it ever gets restored, it doesn't get over-restored. And there's the little Isetta van we saw at the event yesterday. A lovely lineup. Oh, and that's... Oh dear. Someone's just crashed their drone. Yeah, I quite like the key on the back of that one. Good to see.
5 minutes, I said this before, I know, but in 5 minutes we really will unveil this 1980s prototype microcar.
Ooh,
we had to do a bit of moving of other vehicles on the drive.
Right, here we go then, helping unveil this 1984.
Thanks very much, Grant, and I'm going to ask Hubnut Ian to come forward now and unveil. This is a prototype microcar that was developed by the Michelotti studios, based on a Daihatsu Cuore floor pan, and it's 550cc, so it's a proper microcar, and it was their take on the city car for the mid-1980s. It was unveiled at the Turin Motor Show in 1984, and it then went into storage, and it's been in storage in Italy ever since. We brought it back this spring, and it's been tucked away here ever since. So take it away, guys. There you have the Michelotti PAC, which has lots of unusual features. Very long doors, but with parallelogram hinges, so that the door doesn't open too wide in the car park. The interior is all bespoke. It's actually a fully running prototype, even though it was a show car. So we'll fire it up in a moment and just drive it out to show you that. It's a mixture of glass fibre and steel bodywork. As I say, many unusual features. If you look at the dashboard, it's completely unique. The intention was for it to have fully electronic instruments, so they put together some dummy instruments because in 1984 electronics were in their infancy. But my son Fraser, who's here, has kindly volunteered to develop us working electronic instrumentation exactly matching the dummy instruments that are in there. So at some point that will happen.
It's like a Renault Avantime.
Lots of unusual features in the trim, as I say. The seats are unique and actually very comfortable, very thin, so it's a full four-seater with luggage space in the back. Two-cylinder engine, and do come and have a look. We'll fire it up and drive it out, so everyone can look around. If I can find, this is where I find that I've left the keys down at the farm.
We can hotwire it, it's fine. This is where the car gets stage fright. No, there she goes. So it's back from when the Daihatsu Cuore was still a two-cylinder K car. Very smooth, the little engine. Here she comes blinking into the light. Wow. And designed by Michelotti, one of my favourite stylists. There's a thing of absolute beauty. Look at those doors. Double hinge for maximum wow factor. It's all too much for that little Berkeley, it's off. Ooh, well, it's been a busy old day, meeting lots of people. Always has her fans. We've got another peel here now, so that's quite a lot of peels. And right on the end here, a little Willem van. I think these were built by Lambretta. I had a very noisy ride around the field in one of those at last year's National MicroCar Rally, so you might want to check that out. Tiny little Range Rover. That's exactly my size of Range Rover, I must admit. That suits me very nicely. And the Daihatsus are growing as well. The Copens have been joined by a Mira Avanzato TRXX. Crazy little K car. These have a four-cylinder 660cc turbocharged intercooled engine and 16 valves. There you go. Quite nice to see. Oh, it's an R4 as well, so four-wheel drive. Let's go and look at some other cars. We've got 2 CVs here. The van went to Croatia, certainly. Another 2 CV there. Quite a funky air filter assembly, Austin 7. And a little Reliant Rebel. Reliant's first small 4-wheeler. Very, very tight turning circle. And an engine bay that should look fairly familiar to anyone who's followed my Fox series. Oh, I think these are little 700 cc's originally. Very nice. Austin 7, the PRH 2 CV. So yeah, it has been a really lovely day here at the National MicroCar Rally. I missed the main day last year. I wasn't there for the main show, so this is my first experience of it, and it's been lovely. The people are amazing, very friendly folk, always eager to answer questions, and yeah, just very nice. We've had a couple of wonderful evenings. The organisers, Malcolm and Helena's been working her socks off preparing food for so many of us. It's been incredible. So I've had a really, really lovely time. And yeah, I would like to thank the organisers and all in the microcar community. And you're never quite sure what's going to appear next. It's a big old bike. Crazy times. So yeah, I shall say thank you very much for watching this video of the National MicroCar Rally. I might do a separate video of the drive home. We'll see how that progresses. And obviously subscribing is an option should you feel the need. Yes, that is a 4-wheeled yellow Bond in the background there. And yeah, I should say thank you and see you in a future video. Farewell. Excelsior.